Hey guys, it's Eddie here from Dilleen Property, and today I'm doing a very, very important property information video. Today we're talking about should you purchase a property with a family member or friend, and what are the pros and cons behind it, right? So it's a question I get asked all the time when I speak to people. You know, a lot of people, they want to get into, they think it's easier purchasing with someone else than purchasing on their own. Say they want to purchase an investment property, and I've spoken to so many people that have ran into trouble down the track because they've purchased in joint names with, you know, someone in their family, their brother, their, you know, friend or cousin or whatever it is, and it's has a massive impact. And I want you to really, before you go out and purchase your first investment property, your second, your third, or a house that you actually just want to live in, it's very important just to think, you know, what are the repercussions of doing this? Because just as an example, say if you're looking to purchase with, you know, a friend or a cousin, and you purchased an investment property with them. One thing that people don't know is it actually takes a toll on your borrowing capacity and your finance. Say you want to purchase another property, you know, a year later or 2 years later. If you purchase a property in joint names, so you got two names on the actual against the property. Say you go to a bank, here's the ins and outs, which a lot of people won't actually tell you until it's actually too late. Say you purchased a property and you now want to with someone, and now you want to purchase a property on your own, or your circumstances might change later on. That's a huge thing. You know, what your situation's like today, it might not be the same case in 5 years, 10 years. You might have kids, you might get married, you might, you know, want to purchase another property for your family to live in. All these kind of things you got to think about before you purchase property with someone else, you know, a family or friend, so because it has a huge impact. And, you know, going back to the scenario, say you do purchase a property with a family member or friend, and then say 5 years later you get married, you have kids, you want to buy a house to live in. When you go to the bank, all banks are different, but this is what happens with the majority of them from my experience. Say you bought the first property for $400,000 and it rents out for $400 a week, that first investment property that you bought with your family or friend. When you go back to the bank is actually going to say, even though you both jointly bought the property together, the bank's going to consider you actually owe the full amount of the property, even though you're only, you know, technically you're only responsible for 50% of it because you went halves. When the bank actually do their calculations and, you know, their serviceability on you purchasing another property, most of them factor in that you are responsible for the whole loan, right? Not 50% of it. And on top of that, a lot of banks, they actually only take into consideration 50% of the actual rental income from that property. So you're losing, you know, twice as much as, say you want to buy your family home to live in, your dream house 5 years after you bought this one, and you want to, it basically affects your borrowing capacity moving forward. If you were to go from purchasing with that person then to purchasing in your individual name, it drastically affects your borrowing capacity and can really, really get you stuck. So it's very, very important to make sure that you understand that before you actually do it. You know, so and another thing to know about that scenario, say that, you know, that is the case, and if you speak to some people yourself, you know, you might have heard about this scenario happen. It's not as easy. You can't actually say the two people that bought the property together, you can't just take one name off the loan. You can't do that. It's very, very actually difficult to do that. You've actually got to transfer the ownership of the property from one person to the other. And then what happens on that, most of the time you actually incur stamp duty on transferring the property from one person to the other. So if you've had a property for 5-10 years, you bought that property for $400,000, right? And now it's gone up to $700,000, and you want to transfer the property from the person A to person B, so one of them can, so, you know, it's sold in the other person's name. You're going to have to pay new stamp duty on the new value of the property, not the old value. So you purchased the property for $400,000, now it's worth $700,000. Just transfer it from one name to the other name, you're going to have to pay stamp duty on that transfer, just to get that to happen. And you have to pay legal fees, solicitor costs, and all that other kind of stuff. So, you know, just to get out of that, to allow you to continue building your portfolio, or, you know, purchase a property to live in, or whatever it is. So it's very, very important to make sure that before you purchase a property, you understand the the repercussions, what's going to happen, 5 years, 7 years down the track, if your situation changes, you no longer want to purchase with that, family member or friend, or you want to purchase in your individual name or with someone else. You might get married or whatever the case is. So yeah, there's a lot more to it as well. There's a lot more to it that you have to actually think about, but those are the basic things that I really want, everyone to understand before they go ahead and purchase property with, their cousin, family, or, friend, or whatever it is. So yeah, those are my thoughts. That's just something that I speak to a lot of people, on a weekly basis, and that scenario is very real. It's happened to a lot of people, and now they're stuck, and now they can't really do anything. So be careful of it. Do your research, and think about these kind of things before you actually purchase a property. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope that will help you not get stuck, and I'll talk to you soon. See you guys. Bye.